This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports Postcasts we do. We also do Locked On Warriors and Locked On 49ers Postcast as well. An update on the Locked On 49ers Postcast, by the way, later on in the show. But today, the Giants swept again, losing to the Padres 8-4 at Petco Park. And it has been abysmal against this team this season. Verlander was hit hard in his 22nd start of the season, gave up 7 runs in just 4 1/3 innings pitched. But do we really expect much more from Justin Verlander at this point in the season? And I know he hasn't had a lot of run support this year so far, but today he had a little bit of run support and was just flat out awful. And while the Giants were able to score just a bit more than they were able to in recent games, they were gifted a couple of those runs by the Padres early on and failed to capitalize on what could have been a huge third inning rally. With the loss, the Giants are now 6 games under 500. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. If you aren't already subscribed, 1, what are you doing? 2, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. And however you're tuning in, we appreciate it. Make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Alan Stiles, always does a great job. And this loss is just more of the same. Just more of the same, man. I mean, I know we didn't have a show last night, but apologies for that. Had some things going on in my personal life, had to take care of. But it's more of the same. 8 runs given up to the Padres, and this year against the Padres, feels like the Giants have just gotten absolutely shelled damn near every single time that they've played them. And they finished the season 3-10 against San Diego. Minus 36 run differential versus the Padres this season. It's the second worst run differential that the Giants have had ever against the San Diego Padres in a single season. And it was damn near tied for the worst. Minus 37 run differential in 1996 was the low water mark for the Giants against the Padres. Barely better than that this year. Minus 36 run differential. This is not a good baseball team. No matter how many times Ben Verlander is going to tweet out that the Giants are a good baseball team, this is just not a good baseball team, man. And they've shown that to you over, I mean, really the last month of the season, last month and a half, 2 months, really. I mean, it's been kind of going downhill for a while now after the hot start, but it's really fallen off a cliff these last couple of weeks. And it's really interesting to me because you look at like, it's a different sport, but I like the comparison. If you think about what the Golden State Warriors did in last year's NBA season in the beginning of the year, they got out to that red hot start. They went on that nice little run. And then after that, they just started playing really bad basketball. The Cinderella stories all wore off. Buddy Hield fell back to earth, and they started losing games. They went out and they made a move, traded for a guy to make a big impact, and it worked out after they went out and got Jimmy Butler, pushed him into the playoffs. The Giants chose the opposite route, right? Like they were off to a hot start. They started to lose some games, slipping back to 500 at about the trade deadline time, and they chose to sell. And because of that, not just because of that, obviously they were backsliding prior to that, but the selling at the deadline and decimating this bullpen the way they did really just put the nail in the coffin for this team. That bullpen was the only thing keeping this team afloat. It was their life support system. It was their flotation device that they were clinging to out in the middle of the ocean. Otherwise, they'd be drowning, which is exactly what you're seeing now. I mean, how many one-run games did the Giants win because the bullpen was able to the starter gave up 4 or 5 runs, the bullpen comes in and is lights out for the last 5 innings of the game? How many times did the Giants come back in a game like that early on in the season? Quite a few. And because the Giants don't have that bullpen anymore, this offense that just barely manages to scrape by runs sometimes is not going to get it done. It's not going to win any baseball games. And that's not breaking any news. We all know this. It's the same damn thing. I feel like I say on the show every single day. And it's a bore to watch. It's abysmal. It's just absolutely bad baseball, man. And not just the offense. I mean, the offense has been pretty terrible recently. I guess today 4 runs on 7 hits is it's not bad. I mean, you did have 11 strikeouts again, so another double-digit strikeout day for this Giants team. It seems impossible for them to have a single-digit strikeout day at this point. But especially in that third inning, man, they should have scored way more than they did. I mean, Elliot Ramos hitting into that double play just really killed that inning. I mean, you have nobody out with first and third, and you only get one more run in that inning with the number 2 batter in your order, like coming up to the plate. Like, I just can't stand getting into the meat of the order and losing RBI opportunities like this. Good teams capitalize on those situations. Bad teams like the Giants find ways to hit themselves out of it. And that's exactly what they did today with that Elliot Ramos double play situation. So, I mean, it's just not the best brand of baseball to watch right now. And there was a lot of meat left on the bone in that inning. Giants scored a couple runs because after a Matos triple, which was nice to see, by the way, Luis Matos, a couple hits in this one. You like to see that. There was also some bad with Luis Matos. We'll get into that a little bit later. But then Andrew Kinsner comes up and hits one into right field that Fernando Tatis just completely misplays and allows Kinsner to get to second base. Matos would have scored either way on the hit, obviously, to the outfield, but it gives the Giants an extra base, and Kinsner then advances to third because Jung-Hoo Lee reaches on a fielding error by Jake Cronenworth after he kicks around a ground ball. And then it feels like the Giants just need one hit here to start opening up this inning and put a crooked number up there. And they just can't get that one hit. This team is completely inept, completely not capable of doing these things when they are needed. I mean, I just don't understand what the Giants are doing right now. Offensively, it just seems like they have, again, no plan at the plate, no solid approach. I don't know how Elliot Ramos does anything in that situation, but hitting into a double play is ideal. I mean, just a sac fly. That's all you need in that situation, even to keep that rally going. And I mean, even if he comes up with a base hit, great, but you don't even need that, man. You just need a fly out to left field. That's all you need, and that's too much to ask for from these San Francisco Giants right now. And then later on, I mean, things compounded and got worse. Padres scored a couple runs in the fourth inning after a nice little rally that they had. Manny Machado in the middle of that one, as he has been very frequently this year and in the past couple of years. Every time he plays the Giants, feels like he's just crushing them. But then in the bottom of the fifth inning, that is when we got to today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point in this one, I mean, absolutely was when in the bottom of the fifth, when the Giants just completely fell apart in that inning. I mean, you get a leadoff single for the Padres, then you walk a guy. That's never a good situation. Then things completely unraveled. Freddie Fermin, a nice little bunt down the third baseline, and Casey Schmidt makes another error. And he's had a lot of throwing errors lately, man. He's got a hell of an arm. He's got a cannon, but he can be a little wild sometimes. And I think that he's kind of pressing over there at third. We've seen the wild streak from Casey Schmidt. He is a pretty good fielder in totality, at least from what I've seen from him, both in AAA and at the major league level. I generally like how he plays the field, whether it be at second or third base. But the wildness in the arm, man, it gives me a little bit of hesitation to like seeing him at third base. I think he's solid at second. When he doesn't have to throw across the diamond, I mean, he clearly has the arm strength to do it, but the strength plus the accuracy in that situation is pretty important. So Schmidt fields the Fermin bunt, then spins to throw to first and fires it right by Christian Koss. Then Matos compounds the problem, makes it worse, can't field the ball. He was in the right position. So the good part with Matos on this play, he's in the right position. He's backing up the play like he should. He's not, his head isn't somewhere else. He's paying attention to the game. He's doing exactly what he should. The bad part of Luis Matos is he physically makes the error of dropping that ball, and it allows another run to score in that situation. So Padres get a couple runs off of a bunt, and then things just continue to get worse. Fernando Tatis bunts for a single, then Luis Arraez a sac fly, Manny Machado a double, Ryan O'Hearn gets hit by a pitch. I mean, the inning just goes on and on and on and on. Manny steals a base. Xander Bogaerts drives him in. I mean, this inning just never seemed to end. And by the time it was over, the Padres had an 8-2 lead. And you know that this one was not going to be a Giants win. After you go down by 6 runs with this offense, Zero chance. Absolutely zero chance. So the Giants get their butts kicked in this one, 8-4. Got their butts kicked yesterday, 8-1. And I also just realized that I completely made a mistake in titling this show, because it was not a sweep. The Giants did win Game 1 on Monday. It felt like a loss, though. That game did not. That win felt very hollow. Doing the show for that game, it just kind of was lackluster. It didn't. Nothing about that game filled me with any kind of like positive feelings about the Giants going forward in that one. They got lucky with those 3 home runs in that first inning of that game. But other than that, again, that one inning really against the Padres in this entire series, there was not a single good thing about the Giants in this series. You take away that top of the first inning in that first game that they played against the Padres, and if you take that away, there's absolutely nothing good to talk about the series at all. It just a horrible showing by the Giants. As I said, 6 games below 500 at this point, and this is just pathetic at this point. So the Giants continue to be very bad. The Padres looking pretty damn good, and at this point, I'm not going to sit here and say go Padres, but go anybody but the Dodgers. If the Padres can go ahead and take the series, I'm not going to cheer for them, but I'm definitely going to be a little bit happy that the Dodgers don't win the division. If the Padres are somehow able to do that. So silver linings. That's all we can look for at this point. And we can also look for development into next year, things that we can glean from this roster that might help the Giants out going forward. And we'll be talking about that next on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments, and you don't have the full picture. And if you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people that have busy lives. I have a super busy schedule all the time, and Monarch is very, very, very useful in my day-to-day life to get quick insights onto everything I need to know about my finances. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. And we all know that my brain is not smart enough to do the spreadsheets and all the math and come out with the accurate number, right? And so with Monarch, I know it's right every time. I just let them do everything that I'm not good at, which is, I got my degree in words, not numbers. So shout out Monarch for helping me with the number side of the situation. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. And today's show is also sponsored by 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out there on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. And I mean, it's so easy to make more memories out there on the golf course, but you got to have the energy to do it, man. I mean, some of my favorite times out there, like every course that I've played, I've needed a little bit of a pick me up. You know what I mean? Like you're hitting the turn and you're feeling a little sluggish after those first 9, and you just need that pick me up hitting that clubhouse on the way back. I like the 5 Hour Energy shot, man. It doesn't make me feel bloated or grog or like bogged down. It doesn't make me feel bad. It doesn't give my stomach that upset feeling. It gives me the energy I need to get through that back 9. And golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down that bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5-h-e-win.com for full rules and entry. Again, 5-h-e-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and this is just an abysmal stretch for the Giants, man. I mean, I just cannot stand watching this team continue to go out there and just be bad every single day. It's pathetic to watch, man. And at least we can look into some insights for next year with this team when we're watching them day to day now. And that's what you're going to be talking about after this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And what I'm thinking when I'm watching this team, when I'm thinking about next season specifically, when I'm watching this team, I'm thinking the Giants need to add a lot of guys because this team just seems to have a lot of holes, man. And I know that they have the core, right? Like Ramos, Devers, Adames. I mean, that's what your core is going to be. Jung-Hoo Lee, you could throw him in there too. And we're just talking offensively at this point. Pitching wise, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Obviously, Verlander's not going to be back next year. I would be absolutely shocked if he was back next year. I think there's zero chance of that happening. And then you got to wonder about, the young arms, Landon Roop, that knee injury. We'll see with that one, but and how he comes back from that, that's kind of a question mark at this point. Hayden Birdsong, big question mark at this point, and a lot of other young arms in this Giants rotation. You just don't know what you got in them. Is Robbie Ray going to come back and be the same guy next season? I mean, Logan Webb is the only sure thing in that starting rotation, and that's a topic for another day. But the offense, you got a nice little core here, right? Like Lee, Ramos, Devers. If these guys can figure it out, Adames, Chapman, and if they can all kind of get going at the same time, that's going to help out a lot. But the rest of this roster is kind of an unknown at this point. Is Pat Bailey going to be able to hold down that job at catcher, batting .210? Is Luis Matos ever going to get real run in right field? Who is the right fielder going to be in general going into next season? Who's playing second base? I mean, there's a lot of questions that the Giants need to answer. Bryce Eldridge, is he going to be ready for first base next season? I mean, there's a lot of question marks about this team right now, and you have to figure out ways to start plugging some of these holes, man. Like you need to be able to have some continuity here. I mean, you got to have production from some of these spots. You have to have at least a little bit of consistency at the plate, and I don't need them to go out and get a guy who's gonna mash 30 home runs. That's not necessarily what I mean by consistency. I mean a guy who's gonna have an on base percentage of maybe around 400, maybe just that's a high on base percentage, or at least like 350, like a guy who's going to be able to get up and hit for average a little bit. I mean, they really lack that in this team. The Giants, they go through such cold streaks that you just need that guy to break it up. That guy who can just constantly just sneak a single in there. And I wish that the Giants could go and find a guy like Luis Arraez, even though he's not the most popular Padre. I know that he's kind of had a down year to some extent this year. I mean, if he's not batting at least 300, he does so little else. Like he has such little power. He doesn't have a lot of speed. I mean, he's not going to give you great defense. So he's got to bat about 300 for him to have real value to a team. But I wish that the Giants were able to find a guy like that, like a Stephen Kwan would have been a dream addition at the trade deadline if they were able to do that. If they were adding pieces, that would have been a nice move. But there's just so many guys that the Giants, so many holes that the Giants have in this team that they really need to fill and figure out what it's going to be sooner rather than later. And Casey Schmidt, I mean, we've said earlier that he locked down that job at second base. I still think that he has that job. He has the inside track, I would say, on that job at second base going into next year. But I mean, his play at third base isn't really inspiring. Recently, at least, his throwing errors have been not great. And just watching this team in general defensively, like you hate to see these young guys continuing to make errors. Luis Matos, also a young guy who made an error today. So it's just frustrating watching this team continue to not really have direction, not really figure it out, and just fall down again on their faces. 8-4 loss to the San Diego Padres. They fall to 61-67 on the season. This one has been very, very, very rough. This is just not the best team, and that's just the way it's going to be for the rest of the season. So that's about all the time that we got for you guys today. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and this is just a slog watching the Giants right now. So thank you to everyone who tuned into this show. Appreciate you guys sticking not only through the game, but through me with this show. It's been a inconsistent go of it for me on my end with the Locked On Giants postcast lately. That my schedule has been completely insane and really, really hectic, but things are going to level out now a little bit for Triple E, hopefully. And these next couple weeks through the end of the season, we should be here every single day bringing you guys the post-game show as we love doing. I love all you guys. Appreciate all you everydayers. And thanks so much to everyone who tuned in. We'll see you again next time. Peace.